We've been using Starlink for a year now, and for the most part, we're very, very happy with it. There are some pros and cons, so today I'm going to help you decide whether Starlink is right for you as an RVer, as a part-timer, full-timer, or weekend warrior.
Hi there, I'm Leanne, and this is Making My Abode on the Road.
So let's just start by addressing the elephant in the room. Listen, he's not my favorite person, but not many people are. I just want reliable, fast internet. If you're in the anti-Elon hate club, how do you feel about forced child labor? Does your olive oil come from Argentina? Are any of your clothing or textiles made in Bangladesh? How about your coffee? Does it come from Brazil? How about your vehicle? Any parts or components made in China? There's good possibility. You might never know. Anyway, the point is, if you hate Elon, why are you watching this video?
You must be a glutton for punishment.
Okay, so what do you want first? The good news or the bad news?
Good news first, always.
Okay, the good news first. It works. It is very fast all the time. We have not had any issues as far as speed or even connecting at all. There have been a few times that it's been a little glitchy, but I'll get to that later and kind of let you know what that's all about and why that happened. I'm just going to go through a list of pros and cons that I have made after having it for a year, and hopefully that helps you decide whether it's going to work for you. We stream tons of shows. We do Netflix, Hulu, we have Paramount Plus, and then Amazon, of course, Amazon Prime. If you're familiar with Paramount Plus, it needs crazy high speeds just to work well. If it's not high speed, it's all pixelated and weird, and you'll have a bunch of, lagging and, what's that when the circle turns?
Ha! Gotcha.
And we haven't had any issues with it until this spot where we are right now. Even when we were in California with the big trees, no problems at all. And we watch Paramount Plus the most. Right now we are in Washington and we're at 1,000 Trails, Chileas, I think it's called. And it is very touch and go. I mean, sometimes it'll work really, really well. It seems like in the evening time it gets so I'm wondering if there is a lot of people here that have Starlink, so maybe that's kind of part of it. You know what I just realized too? The park itself has Starlink, and I wonder if they have residential, and then maybe since I have the roam plan, it might be not giving me priority. It's giving the park priority, so I bet you that's it. This spot has been the spot that we've had the most problems with, but we're still connected. I can upload my videos. It only takes about an hour to fully upload, high definition, all of it, which is nothing. There used to be times when I just used Verizon and it would take like 8 hours just to upload a 20-minute video. Starlink has changed a lot. The coverage map is insane. It's pretty much anywhere. Another thing that I really love, especially as RVers, we travel every week, sometimes every 2 weeks, and as much as we're on the road, there's a lot of times that we're kind of in very rural areas. There was a time, I guess about a year ago, we were traveling through Wyoming, and it was that time that there was a huge Verizon outage, like millions of people didn't have service. You can use Starlink for Wi-Fi calling on your phone.
So to turn on Wi-Fi calling, this is on an Android Samsung. So if you go to settings and go to connections, you can turn on and off Wi-Fi calling.
I love that we can do that. And almost all phones have this capability now, at least all newer phones. You just turn on the Wi-Fi calling. We've tried using Wi-Fi calling on other Wi-Fi networks, like let's say the park has their own Wi-Fi. A lot of times it's actually really, really good, but it just doesn't reach everybody. You have to go to the office or, the clubhouse or whatever and use the Wi-Fi there. It would sound all choppy and you would kind of sound like a robot. And with Starlink using the Wi-Fi calling, I have not had any complaints from my family members. You sound like a robot. So I am so, so happy with that. I think that's a safety thing. Being out on the road like that, you can always call.
E.T. phone home.
Well, I shouldn't say that because you do need to have power. We have a solar setup. So if you have a generator or if you have a little bit of solar, you can plug in and connect to Starlink if you need to make a call in an emergency or whatever. This QR code is my sharing link, and this is available to everyone. With the sharing link, if you scan it and you sign up for Starlink through my link, you get 1 month service free, and then I get 1 month service free. And that's not just for me because I'm a YouTuber or whatever, that's for anybody. So you guys can share with your family and friends and get free months of service. There's one little hitch to that, and that is when you sign up, if you buy the equipment, you sign up, you have to pay for that first month, and then you get the next month free. So just to let you know, if you go and sign up and you're like, I didn't get my first month free, it won't be the first month, it will be the next month. Starlink is continuing to improve all their equipment, adding more satellites. I think they have about 7,500 right now. Another thing I really love is they have sales often. They just ended a sale. I wish I had gotten this video out sooner to help save you guys money. Right now, the standard equipment is $349, and that's way down from when it first started. I mean, when I was first looking at it, it was like $900, and I was like, I don't want to pay that much. So down to $349. Excellent. But they had a sale for the mini, which is another thing I love, by the way. The fact that there's different sizes. So like a van lifer can have Starlink, you know. The mini is like the size of a notebook. Anyway, the sale they had was $299, which was down from $599. So always check their website. If you're thinking about it, just check their website like every month. You never know. You might get a good sale. And if you're just like, I don't want to wait anymore, just go for it. Another thing I really love is that it is truly unlimited. Unlimited, high-speed internet. It's not throttled. The only thing is that if you get the roam plan, which is what you're going to want if you are going to be using it in your RV, so if you are just going like from one place to another, like for example, my aunt, she lives in Colorado, and every winter they go down to Mexico, and they're part-time in each place. So they just use the residential and then change their address. I don't think that will really work if you're just going all over the place. I'm pretty sure it won't. I've heard that you can kind of get kicked out of the program for trying to do that because it is a little bit cheaper for residential. So don't do that. The only thing is with the roam, it doesn't throttle, but it will prioritize people in the area, whatever area you're in. It will prioritize the residential. The equipment is very sturdy. We actually had one get run over. And now every time I see people that have it so close to the road, I'm like, oh, don't do that. Someone's going to run over it. We don't have a stand or anything for it, so it's very low to the ground. We have the Gen 3. Which is the newer equipment, and it's very low to the ground. It didn't come with the stand. This is what's crazy. It still worked after being run over. It was a little iffy, so I think there definitely was some damage done, but luckily, you know, they paid for it for us, and we ended up getting a new one. So I was just looking on their website the other day, and I noticed that it says they have a new installment plan for the standard equipment. So you can make payments on it instead of having to fork over $350 right away. If it's interest free, that's awesome. By the way, if you don't use Starlink, what do you use for internet while traveling and in your RV? Do you just use your cell phone, or do you have something else? Let me know in the comments below, because there might be other people that just don't want to, you know, spend that much on Starlink, and you might really be able to help someone out with an alternative. Another thing I love is they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. 30 days, I think, is a good amount of time. I wasn't sure. I was like, 30 days, it's always 30 days. And you can pause the service anytime you want. So that makes it great for any type of traveler. You know, if you are full-time, part-time, a weekend warrior, well, maybe not so much for a weekend warrior. That might not, well, no, because you could just do it during the camping season. Another thing I really like is that all the equipment is made in the United States. They do have some parts and components that come from Mexico and Switzerland, but regarding the Starlink parts, you're not going to have to worry about forced child labor or forced labor in general. I mentioned this before, but they have different sizes of equipment. That is another huge pro. It's making it available to so many more RVers, like van lifers. You know what? Even tent lifers. Did you know that there's tent lifers? There's people who live in a tent down by the river. Good for you. Not for me. I need a nice soft bed to sleep in. Okay, now the bad news. Wah, wah, wah. You do actually kind of have to install it. And nobody ever really says that. They're like, oh, you just pop it up and you're good to go. I mean, not really. When we first got it, we were having the cable go through the slide and it wasn't like a permanent situation. I didn't like that. It was just a pain to do also. So we have permanently installed the Starlink. The only thing that's not permanently installed is the dish itself, but this is how we set it up.
So in our wet bay, Jeff discovered, and I don't even think our light works. Oh, it does. Sorry if that blinded you. But he discovered that behind this wall, he could see up into the kitchen living room area behind the chairs, behind this cabinet. And so he ran the cord from back up in there, and I'll show you inside, but comes all the way down here and then has it coming out right here. And then we just put it right through this hole so that we can still shut this door, the bay door. And then when we leave, we just wrap this up and kind of tuck it right in there. He knew that that's what he was looking at. And so he drilled a hole and we got those little rubber things. I don't know what they're called, but it's to protect the cord. And so stuck them in there so it wouldn't be rubbing on a bare hole. So it goes down underneath, and then that wall back there that I showed you, the carpet wall, it leads down back into the basement storage. And then it runs on the other side of the cabinet, runs all the way down that, and then connects to the router and everything right there in that corner. And I got these little holders from Daiso, by the way. Those are amazing. It just has a little foam sticky pad thing that I didn't think was going to be very good, but it has held up ever since I put them on there. So, and then we put a plastic bin to hold the router and the whatever that stuff is, all the equipment. We didn't want it just on the floor because a lot of dog hair builds up back here. And we did that. I'm pretty sure we secured that to the floor with some alien tape just so it wouldn't be sliding around and get dusty and all that kind of stuff. Jeff tosses the cord up on the roof and then he goes up there and plugs it in. We don't always put Starlink on the roof. For the most part we do because it did get run over one time. We did end up getting a tripod from Amazon that I'm pretty happy with. It came with the pipe adapter to snap into the standard dish. The item description on Amazon says that the pipe adapter works for the standard and the mini, but a lot of the reviews said that it will not work for the mini. So you would have to purchase a separate pipe adapter specific to the mini or just a whole different tripod. So just be aware of that. I will have a link in the description for this tripod.
It is also another step added to your setup once you arrive at your spot. It is pricey. We have the unlimited plan and it's $165 a month. At first I was like, oh gosh, is this going to be worth it? But then I thought, who cares? I'll just pause it and use my Verizon, but we have not paused it once. It has been amazing and I love it. Another con is that it takes about 24 hours once you plug it in and you get to your new spot to kind of fully get situated and talk to the satellites and all that stuff. So that can be a little annoying. It'll work and it'll work very well, but it just won't be at its peak performance. So 24 hours, they say it's at its peak performance. And the last thing, it is sometimes a little bit laggy for gaming. I'm not a gamer, but my kids are. And they sometimes complain about it. So But it will be working great for us. We're streaming, you know, videos, and we never have any problems. I'm uploading videos, but when it comes to gaming,
not so much.
Personally, I think Starlink can be a great high-speed internet option for all kinds of RVers. And with that, YouTube thinks that this video right here will interest you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.